Oops. Man, this thing really needs a lot of repairs and tune-ups. Oh, interesting mods, yeah. Alright guys, let's go with these modifications.
5 hours later.
That's the power of good mods, turning something boring or mediocre into something amazing. Not that Rimworld's boring, it's a great fun, but sometimes you want more. Of course, more. In this video, I will be giving you my list of top 10, no, not 10, 20? We got 20, oh my gosh, Bren, we got 20. Top 20 quality of life mods, or QOL for short, not short. Some of these mods perform relatively minor tune-ups, like adding notifications on the UI, others make big overhauls, like adding new content or modifying existing mechanics to make the game more enjoyable, but they're all invaluable in enhancing the Rimworld experience. Of course, you may have a different top 10 or 20 list, so feel free to let me know in the comments below. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video for more cool content. The first mod on my list is Javamonkey's Graphic Overhaul mod. As the name implies, it updates the rather crappy Rimworld graphics to look better and less ambiguous. Ever wondered why all body parts share the same icon? Tired of having to click on each individually to find out what it is? Well, just download this mod then. It doesn't just update boxes, but also loads of other stuff, ranging from meals to weapons to plants. Get this mod and your eyes won't have to suffer from staring at ugly art anymore. You will just have to stare at ugly, stupid pawns. Ever noticed how troublesome it is to check what weapon a drafted pawn is carrying? Well, you need this quality of life mod then. It basically shows you a drafted pawn's weapon on their columnist bar instead of having to click on the pawn. When a pawn is drafted, their equipped weapon will be displayed as an icon under their avatar, which allows you to check weapon stat. The mod also provides further options, allowing you to tweak the options to allow weapons to be shown regardless of a pawn's drafted status or while they're traveling. To do this, go to Options, then click Mod Settings. And now right over here, you click Show Drafty's Weapon, and then you check the boxes. Voila! Now you can see drafted pawn's weapons easily. See right here? It's a pretty nifty feature that saves lots of time and could mean the difference between surviving a raid or losing your colony. Attack, men! Attack! Sir, are they properly equipped? Yeah, I'm sure they'll be fine. Oh no. Rimworld has a lot of character traits for pawns, and sometimes it's hard to keep track of which traits are useful and which aren't when micromanaging your colony. What this mod does is make things much easier by handily labeling each personality trait with different colors. Note how each trait is given a specific color, which denotes its value from very bad to very good. For example, very good traits like Ascetic or Great Memory are colored green, while extremely bad traits like Psychically Hypersensitive are red. In between, you also have other colors like brown and blue for traits with lesser degrees of severity. Of course, the whole system of positive and negative traits is subjective, since certain strategies may require specific negative traits like too smart or bloodlust or your pawns to pull off, while certain positive traits like Ascetic have their own downsides, and sometimes you just need to sacrifice some pawns for the good of the colony, or for fun, whichever you prefer, that is. Regardless, having labeled traits is a pretty handy tool either way. The camera functionality in this game is rather janky, to be honest. It's not terrible, but sometimes you'll find yourself needing to zoom in or out more than default camera allows, which can be an exercise in frustration. With Camera Plus, you don't have to worry about that. Now you can zoom in or out as much as you want. Oops, okay. Don't spy on your pawns. It's a privacy violation. But if you're looking for a specific item, maybe a plasteel knife in a huge pile and can't seem to find it, just zoom in to get a closer look. Need to scan the horizon for incoming raiders? Zoom all the way out. Honestly, the mod is invaluable as a quality of life tool. You'll probably never want to uninstall it after trying it out. Now, like the camera, crafting in Rimworld can be a bit frustrating. There's lots of stuff you can do, but also a lot of missing options like crafting one item per colonist, crafting X amount with surplus, etc, etc, etc. Everybody gets one, adds those options and more to the crafting menu, allowing for a lot more versatility when ordering your pawns around. Number 6 is mortar accuracy. A combat quality of life mod. It's kinda dumb how there's absolutely no way of improving mortar accuracy even when finding highly skilled pawns. This mod tries to balance that by improving the accuracy of mortars when wielding by pawns with higher shooting and intellectual skills. In both those. It scales with their skill level, so at maximum level your mortars shouldn't miss too often. If the mod feels a bit too cheaty for you, but you still want to use it to a lesser degree, you can toggle which of those skills the mod takes into account. Driving is tiring. Since I'm taking a quick break, here's a reminder for you guys if you like this video. Subscribe to my channel, I guarantee you won't regret it. Number 7 is the Dubsmint minimap. The Rimworld minimap can be an invaluable tool that allows you to see oncoming threats and keep track of where your units are, but it can still be improved on with more features since the basic version is rather barebones. Dubsmint minimap gives you a fully customizable minimap which has lots of toggleable options and can display things like predators, projectiles, and your custom map markers, fun stuff. For the sake of balance, this mod also gives you the option to only enable the minimap if there's a powered comms console. Once the mod is installed, you'll need to toggle it once with an icon on the bottom right to see it on screen. Aside from the slew of mods that give you more control over the game's functionality, you may also want to check out mods that directly affect the colonists like Fluffy's Colony Manager if you're tired of parroting your idiotic colonists around like pets or lemmings. This mod is what you should install. It allows you to appoint a manager from amongst your human pawns who will automatically assign jobs to colonists in order to keep the colony stocked with wood and meat and to manage your livestock. This means you no longer need to keep an eye on dwindling supplies as they will be topped up as soon as possible, assuming your manager isn't incapacitated or dead, but then again, you can always appoint another manager. Unfortunately, you can't plug this mod into an existing save file. You'll need to start a new save since it adds a new work type to the game, but that's the only sad thing that we have to share about this right here. Speaking of colonists, I know a lot of you guys spend ages refreshing, starting pawn trades, and hoping to get the perfect combination. I understand, only the best pawns can live in your colony too. The others, well...
Master, have you seen Bobby? He said he was gonna report to you for a briefing.
Nope, maybe he got lost along the way.
In a straight hallway?
Hey, don't ask me. Your pawns are pretty bad at directions.
I guess.
Well, thanks. Let's be honest, some pawns are liabilities who hold knives by the pointy end, or try and bandage someone but end up burning the colony down. EDV Prepare Carefully lets you modify your initial colonists and items to create an ideal start, without having to re-roll and randomize traits over and over. If you're tempted to break the game by overly talented pawns, you can also set an optional point limit to restrict your options. It's a useful mod not just for cheating and overpowered pawns, but also for testing certain traits and conditions to see how they work. Next, we have the Realistic Rooms mod. For some reason, probably because their ungrateful colonists have unreasonable expectations for the size of their rooms in a colony. Like, come on, you're trying to survive a crash landing, not checking into some swanky hotel. There's a bunch of selfish jerks even after I feed them 1 biscuit a day and let them sleep 3 hours. Anyway, Realistic Rooms brings your required room sizes more in line with reality. By basically shrinking the minimum requirement, this makes it easier to create compact bases without upsetting pawns. This mod is also save game compatible, so you can just plug it in and play without restarting. At number 11 on my list, we've got a big mod that adds a whole new facet to the gameplay. It's partially quality of life and partially expansion of sorts. Save Our Ship 2 is essentially a mod that expands on the ship escape ending for the base game, turning your space travels into part of the game. You can build spaceships and explore the universe, encounter friends and foes, research new tech, go on quests, and even discover new planets to colonize. You can finally live out your dreams of being an evil space pirate or galactic overlord. I've done a more in-depth explanation in another video if you want to know more. It's an amazing mod that is an overhaul of the Save Our Ship 1, and I definitely recommend you try it out. Here's another mod to make your colonists smarter. Yeah, I guess everyone hates their dumb colonists, huh? From doing things like not hauling all the ingredients they need at once to cooking food in a dirty room, colonists can be dumber than a bag of rocks sometimes. With the Common Sense mod, their behavior is more sensible. No more purposely walking into the line of fire or endangering others due to their own stupidity. It's safe to install or uninstall mid-game, and you can also combine it with the previously mentioned Colony Manager mod for a greater degree of micromanagement. At number 13, we have Vanilla Expanded. It's not actually a single mod, but a huge collection of mods by the same team, with each mod adding new content and dozens of items in each category like new weapons, new food, and new recipes. The VE mod collection definitely adds a lot more quality of life to your gameplay, allowing you to spend hours trying out these added features, and best of all, it's all free. Pretty good, eh? In general, Vanilla Expanded mods should be compatible with most other mods and save games since they don't really modify anything from the base game. Oh hey, sorry, I was just admiring all the new content they added to Rimworld. I should really drop them out of some feedback and thank them. Speaking of feedback, if you have any, do feel free to drop it in the comments section. You can also ask questions or suggest mods for me to try, or anything else really. I promise I won't bite or feed you to the meat grinder. Please join us on the Discord. We play games together, it's a lot of fun, alright? Yeah. Combat in the base game may seem straightforward, but it can be unintuitive and has a lot of weird nuances due to the way things are coded. This mod aims to adjust combat to be more streamlined. mod. It rebalances armor and shields along with injuries as well as melee and projectiles. The frustrating percentage-based firing system has been removed, replaced with a ballistic model that makes more sense. Bear in mind that this mod requires a new save, cannot be removed from saves, and tends to not work well with other mods that affect combat or weapons and armor. Are you a data nerd? Do you like having as much info as possible in Rimworld, even if it's not always necessary, that is? Then you should get the RimHUD mod. As you can see, it expands your HUD and provides a lot more detail about your colonists. For example, your colonist food and recreation levels will be displayed in the form of a graph instead of static numbers, which makes them much easier to visualize. The mod also handily compiles all your colonist details in one screen, which can be resized and dragged around. It's not a highly complex mod unlike some of the others, but this mod is highly invaluable for the data-driven player. Sometimes Rimworld can get boring. If you're playing alone, after all, who doesn't want a second set of hands to help in torturing colonists? No, I don't mean attaching bionic hands to yourself, I'm talking about friends. Mwahaha! Finally, my cloning machine works.
Who are you?
I'm Noobert.
Me too.
What do you want to do now?
The same thing we always do.
Time to torture colonists. The multiplayer mod allows you to play Rimworld with your friends. To put it simply, there's not much fiddling that you need to do in order to create lobbies, since it runs through Steam. Pretty easy overall. Wait, but how many players can it support? There's no real limit, but the mod creator recommends a maximum of 8 players, as things may get a bit out of hand beyond that. For some reason, Rimworld doesn't have fridges. It has everything from exploding animals to advanced bionic body parts, but no, fridges just don't exist. If you want to keep food cold, you'll have to build an entire freezer room, so let's rectify that by downloading the Rimfridge. Rimfridge adds the option to build fridge racks that can be used to store food and keep it from deteriorating. This also makes it easier for pawns to access food instead of moving up and down between the freezer room. Just stick a fridge rack where necessary, like in a prisoner room, and pawns can feed themselves. Behold, a color-coded mood bar. Like the pawn traits mod, this mod conveniently codes your pawn's mood bar with a specific colors depending on their mood. It's way easier to see who's on the verge of a nervous breakdown, or colonists that may be getting inspired soon, so you can prepare accordingly. If you're installing the Show Draftees weapons mod I mentioned earlier in the list, you should consider checking out this one too. What it does is make pawns try to re-equip their weapons after they raise from a down state. In the base game, they don't do that automatically, so it can be rather frustrating to micromanage, especially if you're in combat. Well, just install this mod and you'll no longer have to worry about that. Lastly, the Replace Stuff mod. If you do a lot of building in the base game, you'll notice the system is a bit clunky. Whenever you want to build it on a location with pre-existing terrain, feature, or constructed item, you have to manually tear the obstacles down before building something new. With Replace Stuff, you can order your pawns to construct something, and they'll automatically mine or replace whatever's in the way without a hassle. For example, if you order them to build an auto door or on the location of a normal door, the door will be upgraded instead of being torn down and rebuilt. Pretty nifty. So there you have it, 20 invaluable quality of life mods that I really like. They vary from minor tweaks to complete overhauls, but each of these mods definitely improves the game's quality of life and makes it more fun to play. Got any other mods you feel I should have added? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like it and subscribe to my channel, and try to check out the other mods I listed if possible. They're really fun to play around with. Here's a list of all the people that donated to help us make these videos. Here's a list of all the people that worked on the video. Now, go watch one of the other videos that these amazing people worked on. I'll see you in the next one. Noobert out. Today's video is brought to you by Patreon. I'm sure you've heard it before, but we will say it again. The best way to support your favorite content creators is a monthly donation of $1 a month. By helping us, you'll not only keep the lights on, but also get exclusive content. Think of this like going to a special nightclub where you get to see the coolest facts ever. After being let in, of course. But hey, even if you don't support us on Patreon, you can always go to the Discord and hang out with me and the fans. So either way, come support us so we can keep this awesome show going.